by design. Welcome to Throwback Thursday. I know I haven't done one of these in a long time, but man, has this summer been busy. So today I was kind of tidying up the closet of shame and I ran across one of my favorite retired Authentique collections. This is Authentique Frontier, and it's just a really sweet, rustic, farm and western themed, and I love the colors and the patterns. I love anything that's kind of Americana. So I couldn't resist and had to pull it out and make a couple of cards. I've got some friends with birthdays this month, so I thought I would maybe get some of those made. So these are 5 by 7 with a 1/2 inch spine. And this first one, I just layered up. I found a square doily while I was cleaning up, and I cut the sides off, stitched it to this denim material, and I was working mostly with scraps, so I just kind of layered those all in together with some little birdie flowers and some really reasonable ribbon light navy taffeta. Pulled out some of my vintage buttons and burlap string, and just lots of layers and lots of dimension. So this one's real sweet. And then on the inside, I'm going to write a little note and then glue this card in, and then down here I've got a little gift pocket with a little Biscoff cookie, a little demi-tasse spoon, vintage demi-tasse spoon, and a honey stick in a tea bag that I've dressed up. And the sentiment that I stamped in says, "Birthdays are nature's way of telling us to eat more cake." So that's the first one, and I did not do a tutorial for this one. I had to kind of, does it ever happen to you that if you go on vacation you have a hard time? I felt like I forgot everything I knew about making a card and I had to start all over again. But I finally got the hang of it, and then I made a second card, and this one I do have a tutorial for. I'll show you how to layer all these pieces together on the cover. This is another corner of that square doily, and then a retired Spellbinders die. I want to say this is from September 2018 or something like that. And I just made a little wreath, fussy cut the image, added this little door plate. I think this is Prima. You can see the glue is still drying. And then tucked in one of these sweet keys from Monet Bouquets, dream keys, vintage buttons, lots of little layers. And you'll see how to put all of this together in the tutorial. This one I remembered to put a magnet on the flap. And then here's my little sentiment panel. And then again, tea bag, cookie, honey stick in the pocket. So if you want to learn how to make these with scraps, if you don't have this particular collection, you could use any collection that you have in your stash. They come together pretty quickly. I love digging into the closet of shame and making something new out of something old. So stick around, the tutorial's coming next. Okay, let's begin putting this little card together. First, I have a 4 7/8 by 6 7/8 inch panel of this red gingham, and I've messy stitched around the outside. I just kind of went around it 3 times and backed up my sewing machine and did little wiggles and that sort of thing. Then I have this little scrap, and again I'm just working with scraps. So this is 2 by 5 7/8, and we're just going to adhere this over to the left-hand side. And then I have this panel of the blue denim stripe that's from the back of the floral, and this scrap measured 3.5 by 4 7/8, and we're going to lay this down. Like this. And then I have, this is just a thin scrap. This is about 1 3/4 by about 7. And I cut little banner flags on the end. And this is actually supposed to go just like this. And then this goes over it. Then I had this cut apart left over from the cut apart page, And I'm just going to tuck this into this corner. And now I have, this was a square doily, and I just cut the tip off of it. I used the other part on that other card that I showed you. And we're going to lay this down, and it's going to be off center. And just wrap it around the sides. This is why I like to work off my card cover. And then, oops, this is not straight. Let's see if we can get that straight, or if it's too late. And then this is just a piece that I cut with an oval from an Amazing Paper Grace, and I want to actually tuck this so that it's inside like a pocket. I just backed this with a little waste chipboard that I had left over from something else, who knows. And then this is a 3x4 image, and I just loosely fussy cut around it and put a double layer of dimensionals on the back. Again, waste chipboard, and I want to center this in my oval. Now, I die cut from scraps of the red gingham this wreath, and I've put dimensionals on the back, but I'm also going to put glue, and these are double layers. This is a retired die, but there's a bunch of dies like this that are like a circular wreath, and I bet if you look in your stash you'll find one. And I know that the foam tabs are showing, but I'm not really worried about that because I'm going to cover that up. And then I have another one that I'm going to alternate over it. And I want to put foam dimensionals on this as well. So I'm putting the foam dimensionals over the ones that are already down. And this way, when I put my little flowers down, these will be covered up, and you won't even know that they're there, but they will do their job, which is what they're supposed to do. And this one tore when I took it out of the die. But we can fix that too. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, now we are ready to add the fun part, which is all the embellishments. And the first thing I'm going to do, I tied a double loop bow with light navy checkerboard satin ribbon. And this is going to go right here in the corner of the wreath. And I hold it in place while I pull the tails, and I just adjust the loops. And that kind of makes it go the way that I want it to go. And then I tied a second bow with burlap string, and that's going to go right here. Like that. And then I have these tulips. They come on branches like this, and I just cut them off, wrap them together, and then coil up the extra wire, and that's going to go there. And I'm going to take one of these beautiful little birdie roses and put it right on top like this. So this frames this focal image. Then I have another one of the little tulips, and it's going to go right up here. And a pair of smaller roses to go on top of that. Like this. And then I tied some little string bows to tuck into that to make it look like it belongs there and hasn't just been plopped there randomly. So I just kind of fold this back on its legs. I put the glue on the knot. Just going to tuck in right here. Pretty. Now for these little places, I've got these little itty bitties. This is why I love these tiny flowers. I just think they're so handy to have because look, this is just going to cover up our foam adhesive and no one is going to know that it was ever there. One more right down in here. There. And to balance this out, I think I'll put one more in between those two, just so it looks a little more balanced. There. So there you have it. That's how you put the cover of this together. I might add some buttons down the side, but that's the basic. You've got these little leaves that if you want to tuck these in, these cut out with that die, but you know, I'm real happy with the way this looks just as it stands. So I'll probably add some buttons or a key, but you can see how to put the layers together, and this is how you can take scraps and turn it into something kind of fabulous. So that's me, Kathy by Design, Kathy Clement. I'd love to have you along for the journey if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And now I'm going to go get my craft on. Bye.